Hello and welcome to Daily Dose Radio, a 5-minute-a-day podcast studying the Psalms verse by verse, recorded here in the dining room of the Bible Bistro, located in Sharonville, Ohio. Hey there, friend. Welcome back to Daily Dose Radio here in the Bible Bistro. Well, today we're going to look at verses 40 through 44 in Psalm 106. Now, we've been studying this psalm for the last week and a half, and we come today to the section here, 40 through 44. We've been in the land now. That was yesterday, 35 through 39. And he talked about how the idols became a snare unto them. They didn't do what the Lord told them to do, and that was to remove the nations. And because of that, they were influenced by those peoples and began to serve their idols. And then that service led to the slaughter of sons and daughters in worship of those idols. He says, the report is that the land was polluted with blood, and they were defiled. That it was a defiling of the conscience, and so they went whoring. There was a total abandonment of anything that had to do with the Lord's way and holiness, and they went after their idols. Now, verse 40 begins with a therefore, so we're going to see what the therefore is there for here today. And let me read for us 40 through 44. Therefore was the wrath of the Lord kindled against his people, insomuch that he abhorred his own inheritance. And he gave them into the hand of the heathen, and they hated them, and they that hated them ruled over them. Their enemies also oppressed them, and they were brought into subjection under their hand. Many times did he deliver them, but they provoked him with their counsel, and were brought low for their iniquity. Nevertheless, he regarded their affliction when he heard their cry. Okay, so we have here verses 40 through 44, and this is the cycle of Judges, the cycle of weal and woe that we find in Judges and in Kings. And so they go back and forth and back and forth. They'll serve the Lord, and then after the judge dies, they fall away into sin. The people eventually cry out. The Lord raises up another one to redeem them from the enemy. Then they have a period of revival and blessing, and then they slide back into sin again when there's no one there to tell them not to. And then it's a cycle that just happens over and over and over, and that's what we have here, this cycle of weal and woe that we find especially in the book of Judges. He gave them into the hand of the enemy. They that hated them ruled over them. You can just go to any chapter in Judges. Judges chapter 3, I think, is the story of, the Moabite king that ruled over them. And then in Gideon's story, it's the Midianites that ruled over them. And then in Samson's story, it's the Philistines that ruled over them. So over and over again, because they continued this sin, they had this happening to them. Their enemies oppressed them. They were brought into subjection. He delivered them. They provoked him with their counsel, were brought low for their iniquity. This is the reason why the woe happens. And then the weal happens when they cry out to him. So there's hope. All of this is happening because of the setup that we had there in 34 through 39. They were worshiping idols. That's the problem. They were worshiping idols, and they had defiled their land with the blood of the innocents. Ladies and gentlemen, this is America's future. And if we don't turn from abortion in America, we too are going to face the judgment of God. And ladies and gentlemen, I think we're probably facing it right now. And it's not just America, but it's every nation that adopts abortion as a way of life, killing children for the advancement of personal individuality and pleasure. That is a problem it's going to destroy not just America, but many nations if we don't turn from it. Now, as I conclude today, let me just say happy Thanksgiving to everyone. I know that was kind of a downer of a lesson, but let me just say happy Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is a time when we have an opportunity to do exactly what these people did, and that is to cry out to God for hope and mercy. So at your dinner table today, or wherever you gather, cry out for mercy. Cry out to mercy for your family, for yourself, for your community, for your nation. Whatever country you're in, wherever you find yourself today, cry out to the Lord. This is an opportunity for us. So as you're going about your day, as you're having your meal, as you're relaxing with friends and family and associates, cry out to the Lord together that He would, see our affliction, heal our land, and deliver us from our own iniquity. Join me tomorrow, and we're going to look at verses 45 through 48 here on Daily Dose Radio. Thanks for listening to Daily Dose Radio. For more fresh and delicious Bible studies, podcasts, books, and more, check out the Bible Bistro online and on YouTube. Join me again next time for Daily Dose Radio.